Let's give it up for our next speaker, Matt Elston.
Thank you guys very much for staying all the way till the end. It's been a wonderful 2 days getting to meet so many of you, building the foundations for long-term relationships. Indiana Jones is really popular because he's resourceful, adventurous, brave, and most of all, loyal. The question is, how do we get our donors to be more loyal with their giving? But before we get to that, please tell me, how many of you have a secret stash of alternative currency? Does your wallet hide a credit or debit card that has travel miles or reward points in it? So here's some results of a survey that we did with our Whova app earlier. And when we plugged it in, close to 80% of you have some sort of alternative currency in your wallet. It's amazing how many people have an alternative currency. There's many different types out there, right? So, why, do we have those, and how can we utilize them? Embracing non-cash gifts help us maximize the impact that our supporters have. Why is this? Non-cash gifts help nonprofits grow 6 times faster. We meet supporters where they're at. Most supporters have, more than half of Americans have stocks or retirement accounts. When there's appreciated assets, this results in larger donations, and it also results in more tax-efficient giving. Let's look at some of the reasons why donors leave. And we saw earlier in the quiz there, more than half of the donors are not retained each year. So we have to really ask ourselves some hard questions. What is it that we're doing that we're not retaining more donors? So some of the top reasons for that are too many asks. Your organization is perceived as inefficient. Donors don't have money to give. They don't remember supporting your organization. And oftentimes there's no timely reminder to give again. A donor loyalty currency addresses all of these issues. Millions of companies have loyalty programs. Why? Because they work. Many of us actually have, loyalty currencies, as we said. One of the currencies that I've used is reward points, guest points, from home exchange, right? So I pay them my cash, they give me the guest points. How do I use those guest points? I go to another homeowner, and they let me stay there for the guest points, all right? Money is a very powerful tool. It influences behaviors, unites people, but most of the currencies that we see encourage us to buy more, spend more, travel more, right? The majority of us have already used some alternative currencies, and like I said, I've used home exchange points, but the question is, what actually gives those currencies value? It's all about agreement and use, right? Price is a function of supply and demand. What if these currencies don't have intrinsic value. The US dollar doesn't actually have any intrinsic value. It's created out of thin air. Nonetheless, I was able to use home exchange points to stay at a beautiful apartment in Paris and another one in Barcelona with my family. What if we actually used these currencies to help combat tipping fatigue and donor fatigue? These are real issues, right? As a donor, oftentimes I'm being asked to give 3 times before I even receive a thank you. So I call this the triple ask here, all right? So first the donors picked out an amount that they're comfortable giving, right? So they picked $100. Then they get asked, hey, will you cover the credit card processing fee, right? Then, hey, will you do a tip to support our free platform. And it ends up being a $118 ask on a $100 gift. Does this make your nonprofit look like they're efficiently using money? You know, online is supposed to be more efficient, yet this doesn't look very efficient, and we've asked the donor 3 times to give before we've even gotten to the thank you note. A philanthropic currency can help solve this. It can help offset these fees. So some of the philanthropic currency gets liquidated in the background, right? And it gets to cover the fees so that 100% of what the donor gives goes to your nonprofit without asking the donor to spend more to cover these fees, without reaching into their pocket a second and a third time. This results in a thank you note that's a lot better. It's a better way to build long-term relationships. You say, hey, thank you for giving your $100. All $100 went to our nonprofit, and we're using it wisely, and we're making an impact with, you know, whatever your nonprofit's doing. And we're also going to give you a little bit of a thank you with donor money, with a loyalty rewards currency. A loyalty rewards currency also sets up the double donation difference, is what I call this. So on the left here is your normal philanthropic flow. The dollars go towards the university or whatever the nonprofit is, right? With donor money, the flow actually goes 2 directions. The dollars still go to the nonprofit like they do before. Nothing like that's changed. But instead, you can utilize donor money to give to the donor, to give it, hey, this is a thank you. You know, kind of like airlines give miles, credit cards give points. That philanthropic currency is a philanthropic gift card. So the donor just can't use it for anything they want. They can use it to give to another organization. So this combats the problem of the donor not having money, right? So they can utilize the donor money. And you might say, like, well, what value does donor money have? Again, what value did the loyalty points or the guest points with the home exchange program have? Where did that value come from? It comes from network power. Depending on your age, you may think a photo album has no monetary value, right? But don't tell that to Facebook or Instagram. Networks are very powerful, and they grow exponentially. The larger the network, you double the size of the network, and the number of connections more than double, right? This results in economies of scale. It allows nonprofits to do partnerships to solve interconnected problems. Very few of your nonprofits have problems that are in isolation with each other. Most of them are connected with each other. Most nonprofits use in a common currency in one country. They can use a common philanthropic currency to work more together. Familiarity breeds comfort, right? So the more nonprofits that are using the currency, the more that are on the network, the more comfortable people get with the currency. That's why donor money is platform agnostic. It results in a philanthropic currency that's a win-win for both donors and for nonprofits. There's no fees. The fees get covered. It increases loyalty, donor loyalty, helps with retention. It results in larger donations, tax-efficient giving, and ultimately that results in greater impact. Our job as nonprofits and as fundraisers is to help supporters maximize their impact. We do this by limiting asks and fees, maximizing tax-efficient giving, and that means embracing non-cash giving. We go where the money is. The money's in stocks, the money's in DAFs. DAFs have $250 billion in them. Better yet, we even cooperate to build our own philanthropic currency that's embraced universally. Embrace donor money. Thank you guys for staying all the way till the end. I wish everyone safe travels coming back. Check us out with donor money, and I'm not going to give away where NIO is going to be next year. I'm going to leave that for the NIO guys. So have fun, safe travels, and thank you guys very much.